to Family Heritage Living. I am making what we call potato tacos tonight. I've been this week on like a fast food type menu, something that's really quick, some things that, you know, aren't real expensive to do, but that is filling. It would be great if every time we went into the kitchen that we could have just a totally nutritious meal. And, you know, it's great to strive for that, but in the real world, for most of us, pennies are tight. Some, you know, we're all about homesteading, but our life in reality has not allowed us to garden this year or last year. And we're dependent totally for these things right now from the store. And that does put limitations on us. And at the same time, you know, I mean, I can put spinach on the table and I can put tomatoes on the table. But at the same time, my family wants something filling. So we can do chicken, we can do all that stuff, but it's not always economically feasible. So tonight we're going to do the filling with potato tacos. Very simple meal. You only need a few ingredients. You need potatoes, onion, if you want, cheese, flour shells, and taco sauce is recommended for this. And you need a little bit of butter and salt and pepper, of course, or paprika, whatever you prefer. Now, you can make this very simply. It's quick. You peel your potatoes, boil them like you would for mashed potatoes, and buy floured shells. You can even use instant potatoes if you want. I'm not a big proponent of those. I didn't even use those hardly before we started eating non-GMO foods. But I know that some, you know, they work for some people. And again, sometimes it's about cost effectiveness, what you have in the cupboard, and feeding your family and letting them go to bed with their bellies feeling, you know, not empty but satisfied. So I do them with whole potato. Sometimes I make my flour shells, but in another video that I had, I mentioned that up here we were fortunate enough to find a really good quality, affordable, organic flour shell, and that's one of my convenience foods that I like to use. All right, so let's get to it. So, simple. Peel your potatoes, cube them large, doesn't matter. You're going to take a potato masher. You don't want to really take your blender because you don't want super fine mashed potatoes. You just want to kind of mix them up. The old-fashioned hand potato masher works just great. And put them on to boil, take them off, and strain them. Your potatoes are boiled, and again, you're just simply taking your old-fashioned potato masher, and you're just going to mash them. You're not going to add any liquid to them. No water, no cream, nothing. Just mash them. You don't want to overmash. You want a little bit of texture in there, so you're going to leave some chunks. Okay, so once that's, you know, mashed to your liking, you're going to take some butter. I put 10 pounds of potatoes in here, all right? So I'm going to use probably at least half a stick of butter. Now, my mother made these when I was younger, and how she would do it, she did it a little different, and that's okay. You can do it this way, however you like it best. She would take her potatoes and she would parboil them, and then she would put them in a frying pan and fry them the rest of the way with butter and onion. When I was making them with the kids being younger, the first two being younger, I just boiled them and we liked them that way. She also would take flour shells, tortilla shells, and the ones you buy that you need to fry up, and she would fry them, but she wouldn't fry them to the hard stage. She'd fry them so they were pliable, and she'd pat the oil off and she'd roll them up like that. I use flour shells. It's just a preference, but it gives you an option. If flour shells aren't your thing, maybe corn shells are. You know, if boiled potatoes aren't your thing, then maybe a little bit of fried there with the sauteed onion is. I like to put fresh onion on these. Have it more like what things you would put on a taco that way. If you saw my earlier video on double stuffed tacos, how I prepared the shell, warming them up on the skillet, it's how I do it for these also. And you can put your shells in the microwave. If you use a microwave, what I would do is I take a damp paper towel and I would layer it in between your shells so the edges of the shells don't get crispy. Another way to do it is I have taken if I'm, and I've done up to 10 shells before, and if I've got time before I fill the shells, I put them, kind of spread them around the top of the potatoes or the meat, whatever it is, and then I put a lid on it and I set it over in my warming oven, and it gets all 10 shells. It will take longer than just a minute or two on the skillet here like I'm doing with these, but it gets a lot done fast at one time. Up here. So your potatoes are done, all your vegetables and stuff that you're going to use are chopped, and your shells are steamed, and this is all you simply do. You just take your potato. I don't like to do these extra thick. If you saw the double stuffed taco, that was embarrassing because there's just no way to get around how thick those are. But these, you just put enough, you're going to want to wrap it. I like the fresh onion. Up here we use Gator cheese. It's the only GMO-free cheese we can find up here. There's no organic up here. And this stuff is really strong, so because it's extra sharp and it's a very hard cheese and you don't need much of it. A little bit does it. And also, if you watched the double stuffed taco, you probably saw the homemade taco sauce. On this one, I actually warmed the taco sauce up for this particular meal. And I just like it better warm than I do cool. Used to, before, when we were using Ortego, when I would make these, I would actually take the Ortego jar and I'd put it in a thing of hot water to warm that up, especially if it had sat in the refrigerator. So there you have it, and all you do is you simply roll it, and it's a nice filling, satisfying meal for an occasion. Be sure to add your salt and pepper, paprika, however you like it, once you've compiled your shell together, just to help add it with some flavor. The spices are always nice to put into it. Thanks for watching, and God bless.